We are on.
Podcast. I'm here with Kigh G.
Here with the injured Kigh G, out for the season.
SYGNWAV here with Kigh G. He's out for the season.
And that's a lie. I am in the season. Coming for next. All 2019, 2020.
Damn.
2020.
Does that mean you still wrestling?
Good question. Yes and no.
No?
Yeah, right now I'm not. If I see that wrestling doesn't interest me in the middle of 2020, I'm hanging the shoes up.
You're out?
Yep.
That's what's up. I think a lot of what's happening to us all is we're getting put in spaces where we got to make a very tough choice. Yeah. It's like either my career or the rest of whatever is going to happen.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I agree.
So you do feel like that. You feel like people around you put pressure on you?
Yeah, for sure. My dad is really gung-ho about that whole wrestling thing, which is okay. But at the end of the day, I think music is my profession. That's how I feel. I've been feeling that for a couple of months now. Consciously. Unconsciously, ever since I've been doing music.
Facts. That makes sense. I always wonder what it's like to feel like...
Because I started writing in 2016. You know that. They don't. I don't know if they know. But.
Started writing in 2016. So... how does that feel coming from the competitive world of sports and music? Especially being in it for so long.
You know, being an athlete for longer than I've been a musician. But I've always been a fan of music since I was born. I had a drum. I have photos of me when I was like 3 years old on the drums. And I continued that all throughout into middle school. But back to your question about being an athlete and how does it feel, it's definitely two different worlds.
For sure.
But that competitive aspect, I actually grew out of a competitive aspect in my sports. I don't know if people know this, but I read a book called The Inner Game of Tennis by Timothy Galway. And it explains, and you know, he relates this to also Bruce Lee as well, with one of my favorite role models, you know, as far as people are concerned. But he relates it to unconscious consciousness. In the act of writing music, I have the same thing as when I'm lifting weights, the same thing as when I'm on a wrestling mat, or exerting myself physically.
That makes sense. So like
the concept was, when a tennis player is hitting something in my face, when a tennis player is hitting a ball, he's not worried about, oh, the spin is doing, you know, crazy stuff. The wind is doing all this crazy stuff. Or when he's serving even. I'm getting that ball across the net when he's not.
That's it.
And I relate that to how I attack music, how I, on the wrestling mat, I'm not thinking, all I'm thinking about is winning.
That makes sense.
Shout out DJ Khaled. But yeah, just focusing on winning. That's it. That's success. And I'm not focused on, of course I'm focused on like leaving a long, like lasting like discography, you know, platinum, diamond records, touring the world, worldwide. But I just apply that same philosophy, unconscious consciousness. I'm not concerned about that. But when I am doing it, I am the best of what I'm doing.
Facts. That makes sense. I never, you know, I don't come from that competitive world and analyze like a lot of guys. You have to kind of wonder like what type of emotion is in your head that you just told from me, I think, where you're like, it's not about none of that. It's just about finishing the thing. Like getting to the end.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. You definitely need that sense of urgency, even in the music.
That makes sense.
Well, not even, for sure. For me, at least.
Leroy Cohen says that necessity is a motherfucker. Because necessity, it makes you have to act. It makes you have to be. You can't wait to think. You have to just do.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I think we both, between us both, will always be doing music, like, no matter what.
Yeah.
So does that make you feel like splitting your time between both worlds, that you have to divide from like a left brain, right brain type of thinking?
Because the time I spend in the studio is, I just feel like for me, music has a bigger successful game for me. And it's been, you can turn your feelings off in wrestling and in sports. You can't do that in music.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like that tightrope is a lot more challenging and a lot more fulfilling than wrestling is.
Tightrope, so it's like a balance. Like I'm living it.
Dude, as of recently, I've been writing so much music, and it's so frustrating. My gosh. But it's fulfilling.
Do you use the music to get certain emotions out?
Of course. And things that I don't fully understand.
So you kind of work your shit out in the music.
Like dealing with relationships. I'm quite new to relationships.
You put out 2 projects at the bottom quarter of 2019. And I mean, that's kind of unheard of for an artist to kind of just drop like that.
Yeah, my music wasn't fully, put it this way. I knew that I had these tracks that I wanted to get out before 2019. And I couldn't do it with one project, because if I did, Things Don't Last Forever wouldn't have been made. And that, I feel like, it's a lot. But
it's a step up.
That is a lot.
Like?
You're right, though. You're right. That is a lot of music.
It's a lot of music. 20
I
songs?
just felt like it was the right time for it. You know,
to drop. Yeah, the September 20th drop. Yeah, so me watching this and seeing you from the coach's side sort of thing, or like and seeing the player execute that, and then I've never seen that. 2 bodies of work, 3 months apart.
I'm just glad my record label allowed me to do that. My gosh, my old one didn't.
If your label's not letting you drop shit, come to SYGNWAV.
Come to SYGNWAV.
Oh man.
Buy some Cloud Demon too.
Cloud Demon. Speaking of which, we're about to put out a new season, but I guess we can get into
Kigh
that.
G collab.
Ooh,
Coming.
the plug. Kigh G the plug. Do you feel like from the player side, I'm going to say the player side now, so you feel like as a player in this game, that you said you attack it with the same mind, and you use it to work things out, right?
Yeah, it's never been about it's never been about separating from me. I've always had that mindset doing music than I did with wrestling. You know, I've always had that, dude, if I'm not working hard, there's somebody out there fucking like
Working harder than you.
But sometimes it's not about working hard, sometimes it's about working smarter.
This is true. It's very true.
I'm grateful for my team at SYGNWAV.
We're going to call this SYGNWAV praise out right now.
It's good.
Oh man.
Come to SYGNWAV.
Come to SYGNWAV. It's very exciting to be able to see that though from our perspective, because I'm looking at an artist start, like literally start, and then I see you at your shows. You have this spirit where you command it's like everybody gravitates to whatever you're doing or saying on the stage or in front of them at the time.
Yeah.
It's almost like watching your star quarterback, but you knew he was the star quarterback, but you're the only person that drafted him out of college, if that makes sense. It's like,
yeah,
I'm the only kid that
though.
picked him.
I'm grateful that you see that.
It's there. It's that hard work you spoke about. Like, I think about it like working out or doing martial arts. It's not that you start off good at it, it's that you just keep doing it over and over.
Consistency.
And over.
It'd be a different story. I wouldn't be here today if it stopped.
That.
I'm always thinking, I've been always thinking about music since 2016. It's already 3 years of my life dedicated to this thing. It's a burden and a blessing.
What was kind of your starting point in 2016? Was it
I had a song called Nope. I think it was called "Don't Stop Me." Nobody's stopping me now. I think it had like 1,000 plays on SoundCloud.
Oh shit.
That was solely off high school, college. No, not college kids, because I was still in high school, but high school kids sharing that shit on my Instagram. I took it down and I don't have it now. Only because it was trash. now that I think that, but that's when I started. So that was 2016, late 2016.
So you put out a project, you got a little bit of buzz. Was that kind of your moment where you realized, hey, I can do this? Or did you always know you were going to do it anyway? You just needed it?
I didn't get my moment that I could do this until I dropped 925.99. That was the same time I started working with SYGNWAV.
So what about 925.99 was?
I think it was, okay, now that I'm surrounded by individuals who are of the quality where I want to take it, now let's see how we can amplify that. I didn't get my team until I got SYGNWAV, like started working with them, started to learn the business side of music.
It makes a lot of sense. See, you need a team.
Yes.
It starts with that. Sometimes it takes that one person to believe in you. I know I've always wanted that. Somebody to be like, oh, you're a genius, Look here.
Well, I mean, I think I was just talking to somebody about it today. Good intentions attract good intentions.
That's
Bad
true.
intentions come around.
And there's a lot of that in the record business.
And ethics. I think ethics and good intentions go hand in hand.
Facts. So then...
Or intention and ethics go hand in hand. Because you can have bad intentions and bad ethics, which is what you're going to get if you put that out. Or you can have good intentions and good ethics. Same thing.
That makes sense. I've seen so many people. Actually, when I started, one of the people that came with us on our small tour we did on the East Coast was completely bad intentioned and bad, all of that. Yeah. And I watched it just I watched what that type of energy can do to a team. Turn them against each other. They don't trust each other. It's just not good. And the whole time I'm looking at this person, I'm looking at my teammates. I'm like, yo, y'all don't see this? He made us late. He fucking, he took advantage of some people. He stole from this lady, let us stay in her hotel room at Times Square, dude. And he stole from her. Red flag, right? Red fucking flag. Yeah. And I was just like,
you learn from it though.
Learn from that shit, I told that night was like, if I don't start, because back then I didn't have confidence to really talk to people. I didn't know how. But seeing how he did it, I was like,
wrong.
It's like wrong, yeah. And I was like, if I'm gonna survive in this, I have to do that, but with good intent. I have to be a person that approaches people and knows what they want.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Really hard.
Really hard.
But I think you get the most benefit from being true to what you want. And true to, I mean, if you want a loyalty, you're going to get it. It might take longer than someone who's disloyal and easy.
Easy, yeah. They just come to you because they think you have something.
My gosh. I met so many people like that in 2019. It's just so, you're so cute. And then they end up, what happened?
They're either flaking.
Why are you not in my DMs?
They're either flaking.
You're not on my team, that's why.
They're either flaking, too shaky, or just all around bad people.
And not on my team.
Now we kind of talked about 2016 to 2019. Well, I guess you started with 2020, right? So what's kind of your big goals for 2020?
I want to show with 300 to 1,000 people.
It's a big jump.
Yeah, I know. I give myself that much. I At least 300, but is 1,000 possible?
Bringing out all the kids from Berkeley, everywhere, San Jose.
Exactly.
How many schools? But yeah,
literally.
So you want to fill up an arena,
and then 5 to 7 show tour anywhere.
Yeah.
I want to be on the road for a month and some change.
You got a Southwest tour coming up.
Yeah.
Damn.
That will happen.
How do you feel about
2020?
How do you feel about going on tour? Like,
I should have done this 2 years ago. I didn't know the value of being on stage until 2017, like a year after.
That's interesting.
I started music.
A lot of kids I know.
And that's where it is, on stage. Damn it.
Performing, yeah. A lot of kids I notice in this, they think they can just drop on SoundCloud and that's it. They don't have to go to shows or nothing.
You're sadly mistaken.
I've asked a lot of kids, I've asked a lot of people, period, not even just kids. I'm like, oh, do you perform?
If your music is fire and your performance is trash, you should rethink why you're doing music. But hey, people actually, I take that back. For me, I like performing music. That's where it's at.
That makes sense. That's where most of the bread is at, though.
The what? The bread? Yeah.
You go on the road. I mean, I wish that we could do like virtual concerts and I could just pop up in somebody's living room and be like, yo.
That's whack. That's whack.
Nah, yeah, you got to get people out of their homes. And worth it.
I can't tell you how many stories I have at concerts, but like positive ones and negative ones, but mostly positive. I met so many cool people at concerts.
That's real.
Sometimes I even see people that, for example, I went to Tyler the Creator's concert in Bill Graham. I ended up going to a nightclub with my old wrestling friend that I haven't seen in like 4 years.
That's crazy.
Shit happens at concerts. It's unreal. And I want people to find their love likes at my concerts.
Like their significant other.
Yes.
Like, yeah, we met at a Kigh G.
And then like 5 years later when you guys get married, I'll have you on stage. And then you could say you met me at the Things Will Last Forever tour. Or, what was it? Group therapy?
Group therapy tour.
Group therapy tour.
Lately I've been into a lot of stuff like manifestations. Like speak it to the universe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to put your intentions out in the open and let the universe just kind of shape it around your actions.
Yeah. Actions speak louder than words. Man.
Yeah. Talk is cheap, as they say.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I enjoy it though. But as far as manifesting, I think I started to believe the law of attraction after hearing a John Jones interview. John Jones is one of like the greatest MMA fighters like of all time.
Talk more about that.
I remember wanting to be a UFC fighter and listening to interviews about these great UFC fighters like Anderson Silva, I don't know if that sounds familiar, but the greatest, George St. Pierre, John Jones, and all of them kind of seem to have this law of attraction concept ingrained in their mind. I'm a real big interview guy. Like if I want to know about a person, like I go on their interviews.
Yeah. What are they talking about?
What the fuck is happening right now? Pardon my language. I don't know. Can I swear in here?
Swear words allowed.
Yeah, like what the fuck is this person about? Like what really, like, does this person really give a shit about what he's doing? Interviews, you'll see that. You'll see, I also like to pay attention in interviews like the body language as well. But back to the whole
manifestation,
law of attraction. I feel like manifestation and law of attraction are hand in hand. Because manifestation and law of attraction have like pretty much one concept of making something that's intangible tangible.
Right.
And I'm a big believer in that.
Fucking facts. I kind of have an issue, just like an issue with that. It's like if I dreamt something up or I seen something that doesn't exist, like my idea, I have to see it through, like out.
Yeah.
To the point where one year I got so fed up because everybody was like telling me I had to wait. I was like, fuck it, I'll produce my comic book myself. And I paid all this money and I have it. Like I can hold it. People have bought it.
Yeah.
And that just that concept, like this didn't exist. Look, the Cloud Demon, it didn't exist. And I have a problem with that, bro.
It's okay.
It's like
because life is a process.
It's a process.
There is no end point unless, God forbid, your life ends abruptly. But I plan to die of old age, as the baby says.
Hopefully we can, make it that far.
Yeah, I see that.
Somebody was talking to me about people being sad and kind of leaving Sad Boy in 2019 because it was like some dude's mom died or something, and people in the comments were like, "Oh, we're sorry," but he was like, "She lived to 93. That's a good thing. Like she lived a full life."
Yeah.
We gotta learn to appreciate life and death because that's a process of it.
It's tough to appreciate death though, because
when it's early,
you don't want to think about that.
When it's early, it sucks. Yeah, because you don't want to think about the end.
Like when I was 7 years old, like I didn't think about death, but now I'm trying to educate myself on the mortality of a human being.
Exactly, having a respect and appreciation for our mortality, because a lot of times people don't really see the point of living or have a destiny or a journey or something to manifest. They're just kind of here.
I see that a lot in college kids.
Yeah,
it makes me mad, actually.
What do you mean?
I feel like there's a lot of college kids that see that what they want to do and just leave it there. Only because of afraid of being criticized. Are you kidding me? You're just gonna leave it there and just
because somebody else.
A good friend of mine named she's been writing like in journals, like color-coded journals, for 4 years, and she has them like written down. I've seen them over like FaceTime calls, but I'm like, you need to do something with that. And she's like, oh no, it's nothing. Like I'm just doing this. Like you obviously did it for a reason. You see, like I told her, become a writer. But she's afraid of what people are going to say about her. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? No one's going to do anything if you don't do it. And she wants to be known for like, shit. She wants to be a person that's like, oh, I want people to like revere me, or I don't know. For me, at least, I know that I'm a role model to kids. I know that there's people that are watching me that across the seas, over mountains, across the whole globe, that are looking to see what I'm doing.
That's right.
And that's just the responsibility I wanted for myself.
And that goes hand in hand with law of attraction and manifesting things, because you're manifesting your destiny.
Are you kidding me? That should be like a soundbite.
Right? Are you kidding me?
Maybe I should use that in a song.
If you don't hear nothing from this interview, you're gonna hear, "Are you kidding me?"
No. I want to post this like raw, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Like good. On my IGTV or YouTube. I'll push that because this is the first time I ever got to really express that right there, which is, there's a lot of kids out here uninspired, or inspired but too afraid of what people are going to say.
Yeah.
And I think that I want to talk about that in my music more.
Are
you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? That's it. That's 2020 phrase.
That's my next single. Are you kidding me? But like big phrase. I'm not gonna say. I know the vibe that I want to go for 2020.
Oh, you got an aesthetic plan. You keep that under wraps. We could talk about that.